Hello everyone, this is Dr. Geeta Naik Vislawat, Assistant Professor of Public Administration, working at Government Degree College, Hayatnagar. Today we are going to discuss the topic Public Administration, Relation with Other Social Sciences. This topic is a part of BA first year, first semester syllabus under module Public Administration, Relation with Other Social Sciences. In this topic, we are going to discuss what are social sciences, what is the difference between science and social science subjects, and how it is related with other social sciences. These are the things we are going to discuss. And coming to introduction, we all know all social phenomena are integrated in their nature. We have to view the various social events not as isolated occurrence, but in the total societal settings. So, in other words, we have to view the various social events in social setting. The problem of growing violence in the society, for instance, cannot be effectively tackled by police if it is viewed as a mere administrative process of maintaining law and order. The political undercurrents, social tension, economic hardships, and the utter disregard of law on the part of the people are the various facets of the single phenomenon of the problem of law and order. Growing menace of corruption in public services is another example of the integrated nature of social sciences. Administration is only one facet of the complex social phenomenon. So it is one of the facet of the complex social phenomenon, and these are all the parts of these complex phenomenon. So in this unit, we are going to discuss the relation of public administration with other social sciences. So here in next slide, we are going to discuss social sciences as an instrument for scientific study of societies. We all know the father of political science is Aristotle. It was Aristotle, the great Greek philosopher, who started centuries ago that art is to do and science is to know. So, centuries ago, Aristotle defined that arts is to do, science is to know. Finding or identifying new things is the nature of science and work of science, and art is doing something is called art. Science is knowledge, it is acquired through systematic scientific methods. To start with, all knowledge is one. However, the purpose of study, it is divided into various branches or disciplines. So, all sciences are one. The purpose is divided into various branches. This purpose is divided into different branches, and we have for instance the classification of physical sciences, biological sciences, social sciences. As specialization grows further, classification is done. Physical sciences deal with physical matters, while the biological sciences deal with life matters like plants and animals. Social sciences deals with human behavior in the social setting. We all know these all the things. History, economics, political science, psychology, sociology, ethics, law, and public administration are some of the social sciences. These are the examples of the social sciences. Uh, Under the scheme of survey of research in social sciences, the entire area of social sciences is divided into 7 major fields. They are economics, political science, public administration, management, sociology, psychology, geography, so on. Each consists of the related subjects in the particular field. Sciences are interdependent and complementary to each other. Exactness and predictability are the characteristics of sciences and possess the physical sciences only. The characteristics of sciences is uh, they are the results are very exact. Every time the results are same. And social sciences cannot produce results with exactness and predictability because social sciences always deals with the nature of humans and the thinking of the humans. So the nature and thinking of the human continuously changes according to the situations and according to the time. So the predictability or the exactness is not proper in social sciences. Public administration has no exact principle to complete the project on time. The scientific character of the subject depends more upon its methodology than on exactness or certainty which it can obtain. So, scientific character of the subject is depends on methodology of that subject, not on exactness. So, social sciences are also sciences of observation rather than experiments, because the experiment must come exactly on every time, but in social sciences it deals with the nature of human beings. So the human being nature is changes according to the time, according to the situations, according to the other factors. So it is social science is a mere observation science, whereas the real sciences are they can experimented. It is always the focus of interest that distinguish one social science from another. It can be stated that social sciences study the different segments of human behavior in the society. I just now told that it explains or it studies the different behaviorals and different segments of behavior of the person. And the segments are classified into different academics disciplines. These segments, the different segments of human behavior is classified into different disciplines of social sciences. Public administration as a social science. We all know public administration is also a social science. How it is called social science? Some of the features are exactly related with public administration, are related with social science concept. So what they are? Public administration deals with human behavior. I already told you. So far as public organizations and their activities are concerned, it can certainly be called a social science. It is the youngest discipline among the social science. You all know that it is evolved by Woodrow Wilson, the father of public administration, in 1887. So it is the youngest social science. According to W.B. Donham, administration is a social science with its own techniques, its own abstractions, clustering around the concept of action through human organization and its own problems of theory. It is vitally concerned in integration of other social sciences, physical, biological, and psychological at the point where action is involved. So, according to W. Donab is telling that it is also one of the social sciences. It has its own techniques, own theory, own concepts. So, in that way, it is a social science. Public administration is a science of observation rather than of experiment. In the earlier slide, I explained that public administration, we can observe the human behavior, but not we can experiment it. So, in a very nature of thing, that public administration deal with laboratory experiments cannot be performed as physical sciences. Yes, the laboratory functions are laboratory experiments we cannot perform in social sciences, especially in public administration also. However, empirical studies or observation studies have much relevance with this public administration. It would appear to be both positive and normative science concerned with what is and what should be relatively, respectively. As M.P. Sharma put it, administration theory must be largely normative like political theory, but study of applied administration, just like study of government, must keep it firmly planted on the ground. So the theory should be there and the application part should be there. In administration, we are having theory part like political science, and administration part, the execution of administrators or the execution of government is called administration. So public administration is growing science. There is no finality as regarded as principles. These have to be revised frequently in the light of discovery of new facts and gaining further experiments. In fact, there is a danger in calling these principles as unal- unalertable principles. In such a case, the study becomes rigid, prevented further growth. So as we all know, the according to the situation, social sciences has to change. So the principles, the theories which social sciences are public administration is having have to change according to the situations and according to the new things. In the same way, public administration earlier it was started with classical theory, later on it is with human relations theory, then it comes to behavioral theory, then nowadays after second world war it developed comparative administration, later development administration. At the time of 1970s it developed new public administration and giving importance to market and choices. It developed choice based theory and management theory, so on. So in the era of 2000 and LPG era, in the era of new millennium, we are adhere to new millennium goals, and we are developing e-governance, good governance, m-governance, so on. So as our thinkers and as our elders, administration should change according to the situations. The same way administration is changing and growing a lot. If administrative decisions are carefully recorded like judicial pronouncements, they would become precedent and would be useful. So here administrative decisions must be recorded so it can be useful in future. So here we are going to discuss the relations with political science. We all know political science before 1887 administration is a part of political science, and after 1920s it developed as separate discipline. So public administration is most closely related with political science. In fact, it is still considered to be a branch of political science in many areas. However, the earlier writers of public administration, in their eagerness to establish it as a separate and independent discipline, built up the theory of dichotomy of politics and administration. Woodrow Wilson, Goodenough, these are all the people who fought for the, who supported the separate discipline as public administration, and they developed the concept of politics administration dichotomy. Further, they pleaded that political science should not be allowed to interfere with the administration. For instance, Woodrow Wilson told that the field of administration is the field of business. Frank Goodenough, who was also a protagonist of this dichotomy, viewed that a large part of administration was unconnected with the politics and as such should be relieved very largely, if not altogether, from the control of political parties. So administration and political science both are doing different activities, so they should be studied differently. This is the concept of dichotomy of politics and administration. So these early American writers views were very much influenced by other own observations of what happened in the spoil system and corruption. So we all know what is spoil system and how corruption is decreasing the development worldwide. So spoil system is also one of the other system which discouraged the merit system, and here the in spoil system the people or the rulers or the ruling party give importance to uh, their party people. So you all know political science, earlier it has mother and daughter relationship. Later on, some of the thinkers of political science and public administration thought that political science and public administration is having mother and daughter relation, and some thought that it is these two are sister social sciences. The political system of a country is quite relevant to the administrative system. The whole process of government, as Herbert Simon stated, is one of decision making. Albert Simons told that the main process of administration is decision making. The political system of a country includes both legal constitutional framework and also the actual interplay of the political forces. So one of the part to divide into subdivisions because of complex nature of government in action. The political science and pub are both should be related with each other. The decision part is taken by um, uh, this is the public administration and political science both are the two sides of one coin. One coin is deals with political science, and other coin is deals with other side is deals with public administration. The political science is related to policy formulation or designing, whereas public administration is related to implementation or action. So the complex nature of government's action is the main reason for the study of political science and public administration combinedly. So political system of a country includes these all the things. For instance, the democratic character of a state has its influence on administration. In such a system, the bureaucracy or the civil services should adjust itself to serve the periodically changing political masters. So in India, the political masters or ruling party is changing in every 5 years. So civil servants are permanent employees. They are the executive bodies, and they are the real administrators and the real implementers. So they have to adjust with the changes of ruling parties. Similarly, the parliamentary form of government has its effects on administration. The administration and the civil services are responsible to legislate only indirectly, that is through representative ministers. So in India, we are having indirect elections and indirect representation. So everything should be the legislation of the rules and regulations should be done by concerned minister, and it is helped or supported by the administrative people. There are certain areas of political science in which public administration is interested. According to Lip- Leslie Lipson, government is a continuous process consisting of phases. In that, legislation is one of the phase, administration is another phase, but these are merged together at the certain point, become indistinguishable. So this one of the thinker, Lipson told that government working under different phases. It has no mm, it it should work in different phases. Example, political area is legislation of rules and regulations and law, and administrative area is implementation and monitoring, feedback taking, so on. So these two are interdependent, they can't be divided. So policy service is the other one, which creates making of the laws and implementation. It is also a major area. So in sometimes political science and public ad both are merged together to give certain points and become indistinguishable. And in fact, there is near unanimity regarding the locus of public administration, that is public policy, public welfare, and public interest. There are inextricably linked with political science. So public policy and policy designing, public welfare and public interest, these are closely related with political science. According to John M. Gauss, he states that a theory of public administration in our times includes the theory of political science also. So he says that theory of public administration and political science both are same in his time. So Waldo tries to prove that the American literature on public administration is special contributions of the USA to the field of political theory with the name of administrative theory of state. So, according to Waldo, the American writer, he tells that the administrative thinkings and administrative theory is related with political theory. And here, Demark understanding of public politics is the key of understanding of political science. According to Demark, first we have to understand what is politics, then it is easy to understand political science. Politics and administration are two sides of the same coin. Just now I told you. If at all there is a difference between the two, it is not the difference of great and small as Blunt stated. It is the difference between why and what. The difference is only why and what, not great difference is there of things to do are done in one hand and how on the other hand. So the difference between political science and public administration in why and what only, and that is also how the things are going on in one hand and what things are going on in other hand. So here in next slide, we are going to discuss the relationship of public administration with economics. Public administration and economics have close relationship and have much in common. Administration is increasingly concerned with the implementation of policies and programs meant for economic growth and development. The extent of poverty and unemployment, the percentage of literacy, and also the agroclimatic conditions have a vital bearing on the functioning of administrative system. So these are all some of the relations, fields of relation with political science and public administration. You all know what economics do. Economics is mainly related with money, taxes, revenue, inflation, profit, and business, um, finance, and budget, so on. Fiscal policy, revenue policy, these are all the things are the part and parcel of the economics, and how they are related with political science, public administration. What is the relation between economics and public administration? Every activity of government cannot run without the help of finance. Without finance, without paisa, no work will be done. So policy or policy design or policy implementation directly or indirectly related with economics or economic knowledge. So in this way, economics is closely related with the public administration. After the industrial revolution, the activities of administration increased enormously in such fields as enforcing the Factories Act, measuring the protection of interests of labor, and the like. The administrative activities have increasing economic orientation. The acceptance to welfare state ideals as also implementation of measures for establishing a socialistic state, necessitating the state entering the fields of business, industry, transport, and other related fields. So economics is dealt with uh, doing the business, providing the services to people, and policy designing, and close related with political science. Management is the part of public administration and also economics. Management of public enterprises necessitate the innovation of new forms of management in the form of public corporations and government companies. A number of senior administrators are called upon to manage economic activities in the field of production, distribution, and supply. Due to pandemic, we are nowadays we are lagging behind economic activities, and the worldwide economic conditions are very bad, and everyone are trying to come out of those crises. So besides, they have the important role in policy formulation related to economic affairs and taxation, exports, imports, savings, investments, budgeting, and so on. So, and many developing countries, economic planning poses a great challenge to the administration. You all know we got independence after Second World War, and we were the very poor country at that time, 1950s. So we dependent for many things on other countries. So in slowly we developed, and now we are self-sufficient in many things. For a country like India, steeped in poverty, literacy, and ignorance, economic planning is inevitable for optimizing utilization of resources to achieve rapid economic development and also to ensure social justice. So we tried in that way, and now we are getting the fruits of those hard work. Optimal utilization of available resources, timely completion of schemes and projects, achievement of targets laid down, and coordinating the activities of different segments of administration assumed much importance even before. So 5 year plans, and after completion of 5 year plans, now we changed 5 year plans into Niti Aayog and the annual plans. These are the main important things which created and which gave important development facilities to India. Further, in the developing countries, administration efforts are increasingly directed towards the implementation of anti-poverty programs. Till today, after independence, after getting seven independence, uh, 74 years completed, 73 years completed, till we are striving towards anti poverty programs, and we inequalities, rich poor differences, so on. So in order to see that the benefits of these programs are not concerned by the privileged and the affluent sections, the administration has to be ever vigilant, and the administrators must have a sense of commitment too. the activities of public administration and economics are so much interrelated that Indian economy is included in the syllabus of civil services. And the main purpose of economy and public administration is economy deals with two activities here. One is regulation and other one is provider. So under regulation or under regularization, it gives it acts as a supervisor position and it controls the pricing, so on, and it creates some rules and regulations which will benefit it to the marginal sections of the society. As a provider, it works, it does business like railways, what they are doing here, like that. So it does business and it acts as a businessman. So next comes to relation with psychology. We all know all social sciences are, psychology deals with behavioral science or deals with the behavior of the people. So all social sciences are basically behavioral sciences. In that way, public administration too has deep linkage with behavioral study, especially psychology in the concept of organization. You all know in public administration we are having behavioral administrative theories by Herbert Simon and so on. So behavioral psychology, also known as behavioralism, is a theory of learning based upon the idea that all behaviors are acquired through conditioning. Conditioning occurs through interaction with the environment. All behaviors are divided through conditioning, and these conditions are interaction with environment or interaction with the organization. So according to the situations, according to the conditions, human behaves and his behavior changes. According to the behavioralism, behavior can be studied in a systematic and observable manner with no consideration of internal mental states. Classical conditioning is a technique used in behavioral training in which a naturally occurring stimulus is paired with response. So we can naturally divide and naturally study the behavioralism. And according to Herbert Simon, administrators should have rational decision making, and for getting behavioral or rational decision making, he should have good behavior, and he should act or he should treat everyone equally. So equality plays an important role, and administration plays an important role with behavioralism. With the psychology of the person or with the psychology of rural only, new policies will come and evolve, and these new policies will helpful for the marginal societies. So eventually the previous operant conditions, sometimes referred to as the instrumental conditions, is a method of learning that occurs through rewards and punishments for behavior. So sometimes a carrot and stick method here they are using. Sometimes for doing or for getting some work, people offer some benefits to those persons. If they are not in a position to complete that work, they start punishing them. For behavioral thought, operant conditioning and occasion is made between the behavioral conventions of the behavior. However, many critics argued that behaviorism is one of the dimensional approach to behavior, and that behavioral theories do not account for free will and internal influence such as moods, thought, and feelings. And here the last one is relation with law. The discipline of public administration is closely related to law. All the public policies should have a legal basis or legal sanctions before they implement. Policy design, actually, policy design is done on the basis of law and constitution. The policy designers will not, they cannot cross the boundaries of the law. Public administration has to function with the framework of the law of the country. Violation of legal norms cannot be tolerated and will result in award of punishment. We all know this. A legal norm has to be enforced by the administrators. The authority of enforce the rules is vested to the administration. So the punishment or the implementation of punishment is also the work of administrators. So law sets the limits to the administrative action, although it allows some degree of discretion to the administrators. However, it must be remembered that the administrators are not just confined to implementation of the law. They play a significant role in policy designing, formulation, presentation, and enactment implementation of the law. The father of public administration, Woodrow Wilson, described public administration as the systematic, proper, detailed execution of law. And we all know that the main purpose of administration is implementation of law. The public administration also help in making the law, equally assist his political head in enacting the new laws. Most of the legislative work is done by civil servants or the bureaucrats. They design or they make the policies, they design the policies. Later on, after completion of legislation work in parliament, the implementation work is also dealt to these bureaucrats. Then comes to system of delegation of legislation, in which lawmaking authority is passed on the public administration. According to Wilson, to be efficient, it must discover the simplest arrangements by which responsibility can mistakenly taken up by officials. The best way of dividing authority without hampering it, and responsibility without obstructing it. The close relationship can also be examined when one finds that without law, public administrator cannot function. The public administration must have a set of laws within which it will be required to work. So every administrator have rules and regulations and a rule book with him, and according to those rules he will work. In that boundaries only he can work. He can't come out of those boundaries. Similarly, laws are more essential for checking the public administrators in their attempt to encroach upon the rights of the citizen, which otherwise would have been on the mercy of the senior civil servants or other enjoying authority and power. A public administration has considerable freedom in interpreting and molding the laws passed by the legislature. So, the system of administrative tribunals is increasingly becoming popular, which also gives vast execution and legislation judiciary power to the public administrators. So, historically, courses on legislative environment of public administration and administrative law have focused primarily upon the traditional administrative processes, issues such as administrative rule making, administrative order making, eventually adjudication, judicial review of discretion, judicial review, judicial interpretations, and so on. Law of judge, and these are the administrative processes, freedom of information, and opening laws. In addition to traditional administration, law topic courses on the legal environment of public administration should cover the areas such as the constitutional foundation of public administration, tort and statutory risk management, public integrity management, legal issues in privatization, and public employment law. So, the traditional public administrative relation economic activities and modern economic activities are somewhat different, and we all know the public administration has to deal with other law. It is closely related with law. According to the rules and regulations of the law only, they will prepare or implement the policies. And one also find that social security and welfare activities are engaging more and more attention of public administrators. Family pension schemes, old age pension, right to work, behavioral funds are some of the measures which have been initiated by public administrators for the advancement of the society as a whole. So these are the some of the areas where public administration can reach into and can help the people, poor people, family, and old age homes. Nowadays, old age homes concept is growing well, and right to work, according to that MJNRA scheme we have developed, behavioral funds and everything are will advantage the society as a whole. Thank you for watching, and if you have any doubts or any problem, please contact 9849373729.